Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin's chart declined yesterday a little bit, but overall not yet a massive sell-off, and it was a rather quiet day. Most support levels have held across the sector. At least there was no major break of support as far as I'm aware. And Bitcoin, yes, moved down a little bit, but hasn't really made much progress in its white currently preferred scenario. Let's talk about the bullish and bearish scenarios. Now, I have to say, at the moment, I don't have a directly bullish scenario available. I mean, it can always, form a low, but the question is, where are the key pivots? What are the levels to watch? And due to the break below the previous low, I will remove that wave 4 question mark label now, because previously we thought this entire correction, which started up here, I think it's around the 17th of December. This entire correction, I mean, it could have bottomed. It could have bottomed around the 30th of December. That was actually at some point even my primary scenario. However, the price action to the downside made this already less likely. And eventually now the early signals eventually, they proved to be correct, because the market essentially invalidated this idea. So we can remove it from the chart. That doesn't mean that the market has to go down lower. We still have a short-term bullish scenario, which I haven't specifically marked on the chart at the moment, but I will talk to you about it. From a short-term bearish point of view, I mean, one scenario I'm tracking here is obviously the white scenario that's currently leading. Specifically, when we look at the micro count in the white scenario, we have a possible 5-wave decline completed. So this would be 5 waves down in circle 1. And then from there, we had a wave 2 corrective rally, which topped here around the 9th of January. I have to say, though, that this is really, really, really weak, this wave 2. Yeah. So it's a rare occurrence, this weak wave 2. So it means that there are just not enough buyers here. And in the short-term bearish scenario, this would be a wave 2 top, and then we have another 1-2 setup. And then are we selling off again? Is this another 1-2 setup? I mean, if this is the case, then, goodbye. It's just gonna, not saying it's gonna crash massively, but if this really is it, 1-2, 1-2 setup, then we might be looking at the area around 80K as a target for wave 3 or 4. This is related to measure, how do we measure targets? For example, for circle 3, we would normally be watching for the 138% extension. And that's at around 82,766. And then the 5th wave would go even a bit lower. So that's because of the extremely weak wave 2 corrective bounce. So this would be one variation. I mean, how would that get confirmed? Well, with a continuous decline, especially a break below the intraday low, the Thursday low at 91,230. And it shouldn't break above the green line. I mean, any break above the green line located here at 95,450 would invalidate the idea of a direct pathway lower. That takes us to the short-term bullish scenario, during which the market could form a wider wave 2. Okay, that would be the short-term bullish count. Just a wider wave 2, and then we can define targets. But first of all, we need to get the price above the green line to make that even a very, very likely scenario, because the market had several opportunities to break higher, even just for a wider wave 2, and it failed numerous times here. But it's getting more choppy. The buyers definitely are trying to come back, at least temporarily, but so far the declines have been 5-wave movements. Yeah, and the price has formed lower lows and lower highs. So could this be another 1-2 setup? Yes, but then when we get into this kind of micro counting, this is starting to get at some point very unreliable, and these get easily invalidated. But I show you in theory, this is a valid assumption. So the price would actually already need to stay below 94,750, but because I find this micro count quite unreliable, just due to the wave degree we're dealing with, it is, just something to be taken to take it with a pinch of salt, basically, right? So, but this would be short-term bearish. I mean, short-term bullish, it's just a wider wave 2. It could start from here, of course, but would not be expected at the moment until we start to break above those green lines. And then should we break below the Thursday low, there is more support around 87,480. It could be that wave 4 finishes here if it sells off in a very direct fashion, because that's the 1-to-1 ratio, the 100% extension. That would certainly be better for the altcoins. Ironically, even though it would be a direct sell-off, but it would be better for the altcoins because, yeah, if Bitcoin recovers and then sells off in a third wave, then a fourth and a fifth, it will drive us down lower. Whereas in a very direct move down, if it really goes directly, there's a chance in the blue alternative scenario that we already form a low around 87,480. That means I'm assuming white, but I will definitely watch for a reaction around this area when the price crosses that area. I hope that makes sense. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.